goes better.
I mean, what's your audience? It's mainly guys. So who am I trying to impress here?
How do you know that?
Because we're talking about this shit.
It's like 71% dudes right now, and it's pissing me off. Like, I want to do more yoga teachers, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I know you had that one, right?
I rebooked her. She's going to come back in January because I'm booking out January right now.
I mean,
let's go.
What else are you into that can draw a female audience?
Basically, everything I like is oriented to the feminine. Dance, music. Like, it's all a feminine activity, ultimately. Like, I don't know. So welcome to the podcast, man.
Are we
It's
live?
Great to have it. Yeah, dude. Well, we're not doing live.
Yeah.
I'm done with the live shit.
No, I mean,
man.
we're recording.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I try to do it, and I even paid for the restream thing. I think if I could stream live on Instagram, it would maybe be worth it, but you have to be at a certain level before Instagram will allow you to do it high def.
Yeah.
So they'll allow anybody just to click record on their like iPhone, but in order to do it like this, where the audio and the video is professional grade, you have to be thousands.
Were you on Twitch before? Or
Yeah, I was doing Twitch. I was live streaming to Twitch and Twitter and YouTube.
Live stream stuff.
Did you get into it?
Oh, yeah. I was streaming regularly during the pandemic with the Make Sure You Have Fun guys. So, like, I really wasn't DJing. Well, obviously, no one was really DJing, but, like, I continued to not DJ through 21 and 22, just, like, very sparingly. But I was streaming monthly. In 2022, that was all I was doing. Like, I wasn't touching the turntables at all besides the once monthly stream.
But you were still working.
Yeah.
You had
I was
JO.
working. Yeah, I was working.
You and I are in medicine. Like, we were chilling.
Yeah, I mean, I wish at certain times that I wasn't working during that. Like, we had our jobs, we had the income.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of people had just time to dive into other things that they got super into.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, but you probably still did have more time because a lot of the activities that you were used to doing, like the movie or like whatever, was canceled. So you like, and the DJing in clubs, right? So you had more time to focus on your turntablism, more time to hone your battle skills, your scratching.
Yeah, I mean, I was scratching a lot. But the learning Twitch thing took so much time.
that was the whole
that was
exercise, and then it got shut down as soon as the pandemic.
Yeah. And as soon as it was done, like, no one was watching anymore.
What about your the podcast, the crypto thing? Was that also?
The whole, like, me really getting obsessed with the Bitcoin things really started during the pandemic. Just like what was happening in the world and what was happening with money, with stocks and everything really just kind of like triggered my brain to like really dive into that.
But that was also the last boom, right? It was like 30K at some point. Or higher, 60, right?
Yeah, I went to 69.
Yeah.
Was the top.
Yeah. But that wasn't that in 2021, 2020?
2021 and a 21.
Yeah.
Well, so I didn't get in. I got in before, like, getting into it before that. Like, I was originally into it in like 2017, but the pandemic, literally, like the shutting down of the world and stocks starting to rip, really was like my brain just like couldn't reconcile those two things. So I needed to just like learn everything about money, just like money, period. Money and how finance works in the United States, in the world, the history of money, where we were before. And then that just led me to Bitcoin ultimately.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Sam Bankman-Fried thing right now, you can just realize it's completely artificial. I mean, Bernie Madoff, Sam Bankman-Fried, everything. It just tells you there's absolutely no regulation. There's absolutely no reality. It's just fiat. It's an idea.
Yeah.
There's no backing to anything that we're dealing with. You can just make money up.
Yeah. I mean, the government literally does. Yeah. They just make money.
They have promissory notes in a safe somewhere, apparently. Allegedly, there's promissory notes, which are the backing for our financial system.
Well, I don't know how far we want to do. I want to start going into this. Like, is this how we want to start the podcast? Going into the history of money, and this is gonna be a long. I mean, do we have time? Like,
we got time.
I could do like 2 hours on this.
Let's go.
Oh my god! All right. So where do we start? Like, if we're talking
cowrie
about
shells.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So like, what is money? Like, what has historically been money throughout history. We've seemed to converge on one money many times, and that was gold, right?
Because of its physical properties,
Yes, exactly.
relative scarcity, it's it's remarkably malleable,
Yes,
ductile,
verifiable. So there's 5 properties of that people usually converge on money: durability, scarcity, which you just mentioned, portability, so the ability to take it across space, verifiability, so gold is easily verifiable; it's an element on the periodic table. And then the 5th one,
although you got to drill those bars. Be careful, man. They can toss all kinds. A lot of times, tungsten is really easy to
Yes.
pop in there.
yes,
So
But-
drill those bars if you're buying kilos.
yeah. So in general, it's verifiable, but it's not the most verifiable. It had these great properties that made it good money throughout history, but when you ultimately look at it, it also has shortcomings. So gold, and why we're no longer on a gold standard, is it is hard to move in large quantities, right? So you've always had to rely on another party to store your wealth. If you have accumulated any sum of gold, you need someone to store it. That's been banks and then central banks. And then when someone has all
the Jews, baby,
yeah,
that's us.
yeah,
That was the only way we could hold on to wealth. That's why people called us the moneylenders. That's the whole idea of Shylock and the Merchant of Venice. Because Jews weren't allowed to own property, so we had to be the gold owners. That's how we survived.
Yeah.
As we would lend money in the form of gold.
And this goes down.
Goldzer.
Yeah,
Dr. Gold.
There you go, Dr. Gold.
Right? That's what it was. I was cutting gold, I think. Gold shares, like gold scissors. So it could have been a tailor and it could have been a jeweler.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good to know. I got jewelers coming into my family, soon to be.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm marrying my fiance's Jewish.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I mean, from Long Island. It's like everyone's Jewish.
When's the wedding?
November.
Pittsburgh?
Brooklyn.
Back home? Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, you have deep New York ties.
Yeah, I mean, I
grew up in Long Island.
Yeah, I grew up in Long Island. I
go back a lot.
I go back, yeah. And especially as we're getting ready for the wedding, I'm probably going back like close to every month.
Yeah, I was wondering.
So I was just there.
Are you gigging in New York yet, or
no? I mean, I can do a few. I have buddies that DJ out there. It's just whenever I'm home, it's just like I'm running around trying to do this, that, see everyone. Like I have a lot of good friends still. I'm really close with everyone I grew up with. So just trying to like see them and not like just work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 2 hours, 4 hours,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. And if it's the right thing, like the gigs that I have access to are like right now are like hookah lounge. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Let me know if you want LES. I don't know all the connections I still have, but pianos and
I mean,
Ludlow Street.
I would love
type shit.
pianos.
Yeah.
I know you used to DJ that. That's a cool spot. I used to go when
A
I
lot.
was, younger. and in
Tuesday
the
nights
city.
at pianos, man. That was
I never went.
the best.
I might have gone on a Tuesday.
Crazy. It was a crazy like tourist vibe. Like they were all Europeans just visiting New York, and somehow I think we ended up on a booklet or something or pamphlet or some website
Mhm.
where like the place to party in New York City is Tuesday night, like
So-
at pianos.
You were there every Tuesday, or is it just you?
Yeah, so I did it with this dude named Luis Bocanegro. He's a kid Chalupa, but that was how I knew him. Now he's Chacana Inca. He's a Peruvian dude. Very, very, very good DJ. Great taste in music and knows how to read a crowd.
Yeah.
Not a turntablist. DJs on, like, he's like you. He'll play on anything.
Mhm.
Controller, CDJs, turntables, doesn't care because he's like, but you have the turntablism piece too. But just like great library. And he also was producing, had some really solid records. He's doing more like house music now.
Yeah.
And still rocking it. He took over the party and like grew it, turned
That's
it into
what's up.
more.
What's up? What were you guys playing back then? Or when? What year was this?
Open format, man. It was 2011 to 2014.
11 to 14. So like
Yeah.
EDM stuff, pop-ins.
Open format, man. It
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, that's like
our
prime.
biggest
I love
song
those years.
was like he would play Tony Tone. What's the name of that record? I can't remember the name of the record. Feels Good, and then I would play Good Life by Inner City.
Hmm.
It was like those are the biggest records of the night. So
That's
New Jack Swing, R&B,
cool.
house music. But I was playing new shit too. I was playing new hip hop. Like I actually really liked hip hop back then. I think that's why I was DJing. Also, I hadn't gotten into medical school yet. So.
Yeah, I get it.
When did you start? What gave you the bug?
What for what?
For music.
My dad was a DJ. Yeah.
In New York?
He was doing really like private gigs, but like my whole life, I can't remember a time where we didn't have 1200 set up. You know what I mean? So I started DJing when I was 10. Yeah, I'd say that I did the Battlegories thing with PDC, and he said it on like he's been DJing for 17 years or whatever, at the time, and I was like, he's been DJing since he was in diapers. I'm like, no, but like for real, I learned, but like I've taken so many periods of just like stop DJing.
Yeah,
and so I started DJing. I learned when I was 10. My first gig I was like I did a backyard things when I was like 11, 12.
Yeah.
But I started DJing teen clubs when I was 12, 13. So I wasn't even old enough to get into the teen clubs, but I used to do them on Long Island.
Yeah.
And then those, like, they got shut down once. It was really like this girl's dad bought this club so she could have a teen club, and I would DJ there sometimes. And then when she turned 18, like, it just didn't exist anymore.
Climax told me that same exact story with Pittsburgh. It's wild.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if that's 100%
in a
true,
different
but yeah,
city.
It felt like that because her dad owned the place, so I'm assuming that's what it was. So I used to do that, and then once that happened, I was just doing like Sweet 16s and whatever with my I call him my cousin, but
no bar mitzvahs.
No, I never. No,
I was heavy in the game.
Yeah, I was doing sweet. Those are fun. Yeah, those are fun.
Lucrative.
Yeah,
lucrative.
I like the Sweet 16s because I was like that age, when I was playing those. So like
quinceañeras?
No, never. I don't know why. I mean, I'm half Ecuadorian, but
they get lit.
Like I never had any like Latin, quinceañeras or any gigs really like that. But yeah, so my dad
is
DJ.
an Ecuadorian DJ, or mom is Ecuadorian.
My
and
dad's Ecuadorian. My mom's Indian.
Indian, like she's from India.
Yeah, first generation.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so both of them are immigrants. Yeah, my dad was DJing, and then so his like best friend also like Ecuadorian. His son was also DJing. So he's 3 years older than me. So that's why I was like, I didn't think it was cool when my dad was doing it, but when I saw my cousin doing it, or who I call my cousin, that made me want to learn.
Why didn't you think it was cool that your dad was doing
I don't know. It was just like a thing my dad did. You know what like?
You didn't see him at parties like owning a crowd,
moving
people.
I did. He would do these family parties and stuff like that. And I don't know. I was always around music, but it didn't make me want to learn. Or like I never like pressed it until my cousin DJ Ampez, he was DJing at 13 and they were throwing house parties at 13. He was throwing out house parties in middle school in these basements, and they like were wild. And his older cousin was DJing, and he used to rock those. It was crazy. And so that I would go. I was like 9 years old and go to these like basement parties where like middle schoolers in New York and Long Island are doing things they're not should be doing. Like they shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? But to me, like that
precocious life.
It was like, to me, that was the coolest stuff in the world. Like it reminded me of like the music videos where like Sean Paul in the basement, like Get Busy, like you know what I mean? So that made me want to learn how to DJ. And then from there, like I wasn't doing that many parties besides the teen thing. So like I got heavy into the turntablism stuff, and like I wanted to battle. Like I wanted to win competitions.
You had a little chip on your shoulder. Your dad had done it. You had this cousin who was also doing it. You had to carve out your own lane.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just thought it was super cool what Craze was doing, what A-Track really like made me think I could do it, because he won it when he was like 15, 16. Like he looked like me when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I was a kid. Saw a kid winning on this big stage. That was like the only thing that I saw was viable at the time. Yeah.
But is DMC even still a thing?
It is, yeah. It's going on right now. USA finals are like next week, but it doesn't have the same.
It became more Red Bull, right? Red Bull kind of took the crown. They became more relevant, like three style kind of.
Yeah, no. Then eventually, like I don't want to do a DMC anymore. Like
right.
I wanted to do Red Bull. Like I was training for Red Bull. Like everything I've done in the since I graduated pharmacy school was to get myself ready for a Red Bull.
For a 3 style, right?
Yeah, for a 3 style.
Have you Have you done it yet?
No, well, they don't exist anymore. They're also shut down.
They pulled the funding.
Yeah, so since the pandemic, you've noticed the last winner of the USA was Lazy Boy. They never had the World Finals.
I did one at some point. Lost to PDC. It was obnoxious. He had more people. He just had more people there.
Yeah.
His set was tighter. I had gotten
You hear that, PDC?
I was sleeping a little bit. Like, I think
he ain't giving you the credit on your set.
he just brought a gang of people. He had this crew called it was called Commonwealth Family. The Commonwealth Family was like a mob. You know, they had like 30, 40 people who showed up. Crowd was crazy. And he did, you know, the mixing was clean, but it was just like Biggie versus Tupac thing. It went back and forth. I didn't think it was like, it didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
I just think that he had the crowd.
That's how it goes sometimes.
And my set wasn't a winning set.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it wasn't polished. The most memorable thing from the night, though, was definitely Dave putting the cheeseburgers on the turntables and throwing the cheeseburgers.
I think you told me
with
that once.
drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
Yeah,
It was one of
that's
the
too
dumbest
much.
things I ever saw. I loved it. Yeah. So that was 3 style, but I guess so they don't exist. And the one to ask about it, to ask why the funding got cut, would be Yamez, because he was Mr. X or whatever. For
Yeah, he was. I know he was working with
5,
them.
10 years.
Yeah.
Or Zimmy.
So I found out that it was done when the Goldmark had Cutso and all those West Coast guys from Twitch come.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
That was
you
like
were
where
there.
we really met.
Yeah, that is when we met, and we were just chopping it up. But I was talking to them, and they have all the connections with everyone. Like Cutso knows everyone.
I was kind of an asshole that night.
Why?
I'm sorry, man. I wanted to apologize. I felt like maybe I was a little bit too confident about like my skills and kind of what I have going on, and
I don't.
I was trying to make myself sound a little bit bigger than I am.
I don't think I got that impression at all.
Okay, but either way, I felt like it wasn't really like the kindest way I could have presented myself, and
That night?
yeah,
I don't know. We still talking? I don't think anything about it. Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, that's cool.
I've been really
respect that.
impressed with everything that you've done, and obviously you're doing it for the right reasons. You have an awesome skill set. You're, I've been really impressed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like, for me, that means a lot because I felt like for the longest, even being in Pittsburgh, and once I met people, like, obviously I had a chip on my shoulder. Like, I felt like I was not getting the respect I thought I should in terms of my skill set out here. I've been out here for so long. I've been in Pittsburgh since 2011. And I'm just starting to get gigs, like, again, now. Like, I did the frats and stuff. And obviously, a lot of this is me, too. I'm not saying, like, no one owes me anything, right? But I was out there doing the frats, and then I would do, like, Peters, or, you know what I mean? Like, those little Oakland things. And it's my fault, too, because I wasn't out. Like, I never felt like I was part of Pittsburgh culture until recently. Like, I wasn't going out to, like, Southside spots and, like, talking to the DJ or, like, going to whatever clubs were out at the time. So, like, no one, and it's also being naive and thinking when you're younger, like, people should just kind of, like, respect you for your skill and not because it's like there's so many things to this DJ thing.
Well, it's 90% who you know,
Yeah,
and 10% what you know.
100%. So, like, a lot of that was me at that time. But then I do feel like in recent years, once I started DJing again, and like I said, I've gone on and off of, like, I just wouldn't DJ for years, and through college I was really just producing. I wasn't DJing.
I like your music, by the way.
Oh,
I
thanks.
saw there were 2 remixes, or really 1 bootleg and 1 remix on the SoundCloud that I listened to, and both were really solid. The curious thing is we both have a Miguel remix.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Of course,
I
yours
love that
is-
song.
Yeah,
That's gonna be my
beautiful.
first dance song. Yeah, not the remix.
Your
No,
version?
no.
Thank
no,
God,
no,
bro.
no.
I was about to
No,
flush that idea
no,
right
no.
down
The
toilet.
original. I love that song
Yeah, it's a
so
great
much.
song.
That song and, like, the Tamia. Oh my God, why am I blanking on the name? The Tamia and Fabulous song. Oh
I don't even know who Tamia is.
my God.
To me, it's a mystery.
So into you.
Into you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song. So those two are, like,
Nice.
contenders for
For
the
first dance.
First dance.
Who's gonna DJ your wedding?
My buddy Easy. So DJ Empez, he DJ'd with DJ Easy all throughout college and Connecticut College. He DJs in Connecticut. He's actually moving to Baltimore right now, but he does clubs and stuff out there. He did my engagement party.
Okay. Nice. I had Chalupa DJ mine. It was kind of, I don't know. It was like, he did a great job, but I kind of fucked it up. So when the party was just kind of like getting cracking. So we had too many rooms. First of all, we had like 4 or 5 rooms to program with music in 3. There was like 3 separate areas of music set up. So I had 3 sound systems I had to install. I did everything by myself. Nobody helped me at all. Like, I mean, my boys helped me, but like I didn't hire anyone.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, to do anything. So, so I set up 3 different sound systems. One had the mix that I like. It was in an art museum for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing was nuts. There was like this rocket ship area where I did an installation for the Attack Decay mix I did with my buddy Colin Mannix. And then in the main room where we did the first dances and everything, the whole thing was decked out with aluminum foil and all kinds of insane, like it was a massive room where everybody ate, and my buddy Ant DJ'd in there. But then we moved everybody into this other insane room. There's an art collective called Milagros.
Mm-hmm.
And they had painted everything black and white. So the whole room was decked out with like black polka dots, basically. We had like lab coats, full-length lab coats with the black polka dots, so you could like camouflage yourself into the wall. There's a bed that had the sheets on it, like people were taking pictures in. A motorcycle with black and white. People could like get on and get pictures. The whole thing was insane. But in that room, I had Chalupa set up to rock. And where I messed up was I told him he was playing the wrong music. Like I walked up to him, like, can you do like more Latin, something like that? Because you know my wife's Cuban, whatever. Like I thought maybe people would be more into it. You gotta let people work, man. Like you put the right people in place and let them do their thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Don't put your finger. Don't, you know.
I think I'm noticing this more often because I'm doing different spots and stuff now. But like when I have a preconceived notion of like what I should be playing is when I'm the worst. Or like when people are like, you should, or someone tells you, you're going into a night like, oh, you should do this. And then you lean so heavy into that you forget about everything else you should be doing.
Then why are you playing all these theme nights? Why is everything 2000s R&B,
different.
2010s R&B?
Those are
why
different.
Not like,
people
let
are,
yourself breathe?
People are there for that reason. And
Maybe they're there because it's a party.
No, they're there.
I went because I heard you were DJing. I don't give a shit about 2000, 2010.
Well, and that night I have to play 2000s hip hop and R&B. I'm not
saying for your parties when you're crafting something, when you're creating your own narrative, when you're building something. What is the aesthetic that you're looking to push?
Yeah. So my whole thing is good DJing. Like that's like what I want to brand myself as, or whatever. Like so.
What does that mean?
So it means like being able to technically get off different things. So I don't know if you've seen any of my videos. It's just like so it's rocking a party and spicing in like technical ability. Like
Adam C.
He's perfect example of like someone that obviously I look up to
or
being
craze.
from here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say craze as much. It's more like a Miles Medina. Like my favorite,
or Jeff.
My favorite DJs are, and these are like my like who I look up to. Miles Medina, 4 Color Zach, obviously Jeff, but like to me, an A-track I like an A-track more than a Jeff.
Whoa. Hate A-track.
Why?
Flush him down the toilet.
How can you say that?
So obnoxious.
Pioneer.
15 to 20, love. Everything's wonderful. Now he's teaching a master class on music production. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Excuse me. Every single production he ever made was with another producer who's actually a producer.
True.
Armin Van Helden
is the best. I love Armin.
Yeah.
He's
the best.
Sick. I know.
So why did he have to team up with him in order to do Duck Sauce? Like,
it's
because he doesn't know how to produce. Now you're going to teach a master class?
I don't know if that's true.
That's
you
like
don't think he hasn't soaked up anything from being...
It's like a production class from Diplo. Like, no.
You're going to say no to Diplo? Diplo is the best.
Switch. Like, did all those records, right?
Diplo has been doing it for
He's a
30
taste maker.
years.
He's a genius. He's my favorite, like, DJ. I love him, but
Me
he's
too.
a DJ.
I love Diplo.
I love him. He's a DJ.
You cannot say he's not a great producer.
Turntablist, wizard, one of the greatest turntablists of all time. As a DJ, he's okay. As a as a producer, no. Sorry. No.
I disagree with you on both of these.
Records are mastered terribly, first of all.
But he's not mastering. No producer of yours is mastering their own record.
Many.
They're not. They're not. They have like teams of engineers. You're going to say Kanye is a great producer, but he has like 8,000 people working on a song with him? Same.
I don't know.
Thing.
I don't know who's in the studio with Kanye.
Everyone.
I wish I did.
Everyone. Look at any of his records. Look at all the co-producing. There's like 10,000 people on one song. You have Timbaland tweaking the drums alone. Like, you could see the videos. That's every producer. I mean, like making a song is a collaboration. Like, I've worked with people and I'm not, like, I stopped producing because I never got to the point where I wanted to be. And because it's really hard to make finished songs in an apartment. That's why I kind of switched back to DJing full time with my spare time, I mean. But yeah, like anything I've made is with a person, but doesn't mean like I'm not tweaking knobs or whatever. Like, you don't know what each person is doing in a session. Like, I can't make that grand statement that they don't know what they're doing.
The next phase for me is to start with the live performance. I've been very intentional about this. I don't want a studio project. Okay. The next thing I want to do is really have instruments that sound good live, build it for a live set. And if eventually an album comes out of it, that's great. Or any kind of recorded music comes out of it, wonderful. But really,
the intention is doing it live.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I don't know what the instruments will be yet. Obviously, probably some kind of sequencer, keyboard, drum machine, live, like actual drums. I don't know. But that's, and microphone, I want to use my voice.
I don't. Yeah. I can't sing for anything.
No singing, no beatboxing, no rapping.
I mean, I could beatbox just as well as another DJ, I think. I feel like everyone can kind of like, if you're DJing, like you could do some like, I've heard you on here.
No, my shit is heavy.
Yeah. I don't know. I listen at 3X, so.
I beatboxed a rap battle for Proof.
Oh. That's sick.
Yeah. I've won like talent shows.
That's sick.
Yeah. My beatboxing is
like I said, I've only heard at 3X, so. I don't know how people listen at 1X.
I do like 1.2.
I feel like everyone sounds drunk.
Well, this morning one is going to be faster. You're probably going to have to do like 2.
This is the first one that we're like
jazzed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the caffeine is better than the alcohol, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But we'll listen because I feel like we're jumping a lot.
Yeah, but I like that.
Yeah.
I don't really like the linearity. I did linearity for Keebs just because I don't know him that well, but I feel like we can just talk about shit.
Yeah, no. I mean, I already had a cup of coffee before we sat down, and then this is good.
So, yeah, man. That's the Muddy Cup in Dormont. Shout out to Muddy Cup.
Yeah.
Did you come here just for pharmacy school, or did you have a connection to Pittsburgh?
Nope. I got duped.
Me too. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. All right, let me hear it.
So,
was it ex-girlfriend?
No. Pittsburgh sometimes feels like an ex-girlfriend, but so I was visiting schools or whatever. I always knew I was going to do pharmacy, so I got conditional acceptance into Pitt, which means that you could do pharmacy in 6 years versus 8. And I got conditional acceptance into University of Buffalo, and then a few other places. I came to visit here like April, and it was beautiful. It was like 65 degrees, maybe 70 degrees.
Acting like the weather isn't fucking trash in New York.
No, I know. This is what I didn't realize. I don't know. I didn't look at where we are on the map. I didn't look into the weather patterns of Pittsburgh. I come here, it's 70 degrees. Everyone's laying out on soldiers and sailors. Like, women everywhere. I'm like, this place is perfect. And it's a beautiful campus, especially on a nice day.
We take advantage of the beautiful days more because of the hardship.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate it more when you have to go through something.
100%. But I got duped by that day because it wasn't a typical day. But also, like, it was Mac Miller was coming up. Wiz Khalifa was coming up. We were the #1 seed in basketball that year. I was applying. It was just like all these things I love were like, I was a huge Mac Miller fan, like huge back 2010, like when that Kids came out. And same with Wiz. Like those were like what I was listening to.
Did you used to go to Mac Miller shows, like follow him around the country?
Wherever, not around the country. Not like I've never followed anyone around the country.
Yeah.
But I went to everything that he did here.
Like, and you saw him in New York a couple times, or
I never saw him in New York. No.
I used to see him at a lot of festivals. I would go. I think I saw him at like 3 or 4 festivals at least, and I loved what he did. I
Yeah.
totally agree. I mean, I thought it was so exciting at the time, you know.
So-
And he evolved too, right? He had
Yeah.
like a really cool arc to his career. It's just so fucking sad about
know.
drugs, man. It's so sad, and nobody wants to talk about fentanyl at all, ever. But that's what killed him.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't think he really wanted to die. You know, I think he talked about it in his music a lot, but so did a lot of rappers.
Yeah,
I don't think they wanted to die. I don't think, you know, I think he had a lot more to give.
I agree.
And
That was like, in terms of celebrity deaths, that one like hit me probably the hardest. And then I'm trying to think a couple other ones, but that one for sure. It was just like
Sinead O'Connor this week. I had no idea who she was, man. I had to dig it up. Nothing compares to you.
I know the name, yeah.
It's sorry for singing it terribly, but I don't really know the song that well. But it's a Prince record that she covered and got famous for, I guess.
That happens.
Yeah, that's
That
fucking weird.
happens often, I feel like.
So weird to me. She's British. She definitely had a British accent.
I know the name, yeah. I don't know, yeah.
So she's dead. So you got duped. And what is dupe? Sounds like dap. So what is a dap? What is it? A Dr. Dap?
It's like, you know, dapping someone up, but it's
Handshake.
also it's been my name since like I was 10. It was the only name I've ever had. Not Dr. Dap. I went by DJ Dap.
DJ Dap.
It's my initials. That's really all it is.
Oh, DAP?
Yeah. So
DAP. Don't put that in the search tab on Pornhub.
yeah, I don't know. It's DP, yeah, but
No, there's also DAP.
oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Well, that's not what it stands for.
Good.
But yeah, so I went by DJ Dap for the longest. Then when I was producing, I dropped the DJ because I thought it was a period of time where like it wasn't cool to be a DJ. Actually, I never felt like it was cool to be a DJ.
Nah.
Like especially when I was learning. Now it's cool to be a DJ. But I didn't feel.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone wants to be a DJ.
Maybe that's why nobody wants to let me be a DJ.
That too, yeah.
Huh.
Because everyone's a DJ now. Well, when I was in high school, like in middle school, like people were like making fun of me for like trying to do the DJ thing. Like
Weird.
yeah. So I dropped the DJ to produce, and then I tried to bring it back, but everyone was trying to claim DJ Dap. Like there's like 30 of them. You know, whenever you have like a short DJ
It's
name,
too short.
or like
Yeah. Everybody wants 3 letters, like zero.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I wanted a name with 3 letters. Like, why?
I know like 500 zeros. Yeah.
I told him that. I was like, dude, you don't have any SEO. Your SEO is fucked.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
that's
Dr. Dap is good.
Yeah.
DOCTORDAP as one word.
That's why
is money.
That's why I did it for the branding.
That's why you
purposes,
went
honestly.
to pharmacy school?
Yeah, I went to pharmacy school for 6 years just for a good DJ name. I say that a lot, honestly. I tell people that I went to school for 6 years for a good DJ name.
And you love drugs.
I mean, I don't hate them.
Better living through chemistry?
Sometimes. For some people, yeah, for sure. How could you not? You're a doctor. How could you not agree?
I do.
Yeah.
I think many people need medicine.
Yes.
I think that we focus too much on it and that we should be focusing more on food and exercise.
100%. And but you know people. You know, it's very hard to have people change their habits. And
Taking a pill every day is a habit.
100%, and they're really bad at it. That's why I have a job. My main, the main thing that my pharmacy does is we do compliance packaging for people in the community.
You help people
remember to
take their pills.
And we do we're calling up the doctors and tweaking whatever we see.
We just talked about fentanyl. What about the opiate epidemic? Do you think about it at all with your work and everything? Don't you have to deal with that?
I mean,
in
it was
certain
really a
ways and
crisis.
controlling the amounts of things.
Oh my God, yes. But it was really a crisis born before I was a pharmacist, in the 2000s to 2010s is when it really started, when there was less regulation. Right now, it's very hard to get.
You can't
controlled
open a pill
substance.
mill anymore. Like,
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like everything is watched very heavily.
Which I think is good, right? It's
100%.
having these checks on people's medical charts now where in order to prescribe a tramadol, I have to check if they've been prescribed any opiate in the past year, whether or not they have benzos. It'll pull it up and I'll be able to see it, right? So I know
100%.
any controlled substance.
Yeah, definitely. We have access to everything that someone has been prescribed.
It also it comes at a cost to personal
It's always like that.
freedom, right? There's a cost to their what's the word? We're getting more insight into their history than maybe would be ideal or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love that either.
Yeah.
Like, to bring it back to like the Bitcoin ethos, it's like there's two ways this fully goes on its spectrum. You have complete like anarchy, like no government intervention at all, and then you have full surveillance state. Right now we're somewhere in the middle, but like it's very easy to tip to one side, and like
Not in this country.
I would kind of disagree in terms of I would say this country is the least likely to do it first. But we've given up so many freedoms in the last 20 years. And we're heavily surveilled. Just, even we're talking about like AI coming up and all these giant corporations that have all your data, right? If it ends up being a situation where the government has control of all this data, and then you tack on the money component of it, where money's programmable just from the government, you tend to you lean into this dystopian type of
Social credit score system.
Exactly,
like
you see
China.
it in China.
Yeah,
but it
that's
doesn't need to be
why-
that extreme, right? But it can be, and like people should think about that, right? So like, let's say you are an enemy of the state for whatever reason. Let's say like the government that is in power right now doesn't like porn, and they see that you bought you bought an OnlyFans from
Hey,
this person.
you're the one called Dr. Dap.
Exactly.
Not me.
That's why I'm going there. So, and they say, we don't like that you had that you bought an OnlyFans from Dr. Gold.
I should start OnlyFans.
But then they could shut off your money supply. And that's a dystopian future that Bitcoin kind of helps prevent. It's just another check and balance in terms of money. That's the way I look at it. It's, uncensorable money.
So why is the government trying to create its own cryptocurrency?
Well, they're going to have to at some point, because we're just in a situation that is, in terms of government spending versus GDP, that we can't get out of without debasing our own currency. So printing out a ton of money to fund that difference. And what that does is someone that holds dollars, and you've seen inflation run the last couple of years. Why did that happen? We put trillions of dollars into the system. And so when they
were sending me those $2,000 checks during COVID, let's go.
And a lot of other reasons.
Go.
Exactly. But now everything's more expensive. And so
Good time at the time, though.
yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Grandpa Joe.
Exactly. But when you
I
have
think Trump sent me some money too.
yeah, he did.
Thanks,
Sure did.
Dr. Trump.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's yours. I don't know why I chose the other one. I hope you like lime. So, yeah, so interesting.
That's how I see. I mean, we're going into like my worldview. That's kind of how I see things trending.
So where would you invest right now? If you, I guess, where do you invest? So what, like, do you have 401k, gold, guns and bullets?
I'm not going to talk into everything that I'm not a prepper. I don't think this is happening anytime soon. It's just a trend that I see happening. So I kind of do big picture investing. And I don't think anyone should like go 100% into anything, because this world is very complex, and no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how much research you've done, there's so many different things that could happen that could totally wipe you out if you're 100% in anything.
Sure.
So, have a mixed portfolio like anyone. Diversity is key. Most people are horrible investors, so they shouldn't be doing anything like stock picking, I think. You should have this is not financial advice at all. I'm not a financial advisor. Yeah. But you should, in general, invest in the S&P 500, so the top 500 companies.
Right.
And
Over time, it'll beat you every time.
yeah, because you're investing in the United States keeping their supremacy in the world. I don't see that happening, them losing that anytime soon. We could lose dollar reserve status, so we could lose the United States being the global reserve currency, and the S&P can still go up throughout this time, because the United States has fostered, for whatever reason, this ability to innovate faster than other countries.
Dude, we're not going to lose it. We got Messi now. Let's go.
Yeah, so I think that's like number one. I do think, based on your tolerance and your knowledge of Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. I don't like anything else really in a portfolio. Bitcoin is a hedge on inflation over a long period of time. So to me, and where I see things going, it's a hedge on. So basically, Bitcoin to me is just a bet, an uncensorable bet on a future global reserve. So what that means is I see in the future countries putting that in their reserves. Doesn't mean it's the only reserve, but they could have gold, Bitcoin, and then other government bonds. So that's how most makeup of other countries right now are United States government bonds, which we're devaluing. So why would a country want to hold United States bond that is losing value over time against real purchasing power? They wouldn't. So what are they going to do? They're going to go back to gold? Maybe. That's not a bad thing to have in your portfolio as well. But I also see them going into Bitcoin that has better properties than gold, because we've seen the properties of gold fail over time many times. So why would we keep doing the same thing over and over?
Couldn't Bitcoin collapse and have another coin win? So couldn't ETH become the default?
It's a
winner?
great question.
Or some other?
What
coin?
we see throughout money in general is like there's usually a winner take all. And with anything, there tends to be what's the word? Like momentum. So like Apple, for example, is the winner in that field. Like in all types of categories, there's generally a winner.
You get a monopoly.
Yeah. But you also have to understand the properties that make Bitcoin unique from other currencies.
It's slow.
Cryptocurrencies.
Incredibly slow.
Yeah, 100%. But it's a base layer. So you can build layers on top of it that are fast. So there's a thing called the Lightning Network. And basically that is just, so if you think about like internet protocols, there's like TCP/IP, and then like on top of that, there's other things that make things faster. So you have a base layer money.
Like Java.
Yeah. So I could show you right now. I could send you Bitcoin in instantly over the Lightning Network. So it's a second layer on top of that. So basically it's a
With how much gas fee?
0.
Is gas just for ETH or for anything?
Yeah, it's for ETH, but
Yeah.
there's fees in every blockchain. It's just how blockchains work.
And they have different names.
Yeah. So
Fees are killer.
yeah, because you
can't
have
use
to
it.
pay for its
Sam
security.
Bankman-Fried to get rich.
You have to pay for its security. And so
And for the cloud, which has become one of the most energy intensive structures in the world. Right now it's using there's as much energy being used by the cloud as 50% of the United States. It's insane.
You're talking about like Amazon Web Service.
Everything.
Yeah.
The global cloud.
Yeah, exactly. So much more than like when people talk about the energy intensive.
I think that's true. We'll have to check it out.
Energy intensive, energy intensity of like Bitcoin miners. Like there's so many other things that are way more energy intensive.
How about those like mining for cobalt and the little batteries and the disposable vape pens? Keebs put me up on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Rechargeable batteries in a disposable vape pen.
I do want to make just one point though about the differences between Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Oh, cool. I like that it's ETH. Thanks for correcting me on that one.
Yeah, Ethereum, ETH. Yeah,
Ethereum.
ETH. It's Ethereum.
Eth.
Ethereum.
Ethereum. You just said it. Eth.
Ethereum, but it is ETH. I don't know why. I mean, I talked to everyone about this. So.
Yeah, I just made it up. I saw it written and I came up with a pronunciation. It's like when you read a book, you like come up with your own pronunciation for the character names, and then you watch the movie and they like give you a different pronunciation. It's fucked up.
Okay, let me make one point about the Bitcoin versus Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies thing. We've seen millions of cryptocurrencies come and go, and Bitcoin dominance has remained high over this period of time.
Why? In terms of what?
In terms of share,
market cap.
Yeah, share of market cap.
Yeah, market cap.
So why is that? So Bitcoin was the original, right? It was founded without a pre-mine. So meaning like when after something is created, right? So something that naturally happens and develops grassroots, there's imitators, right? And so these imitators want to give themselves a share before they give it out to the world. So Ethereum was born with the foundation. They gave themselves a share, a large share and a pre-mine before giving it out to the world. It's moved to proof of stake. So any currency that has proof of stake means that if you have a share, you have, and this is like getting kind of weedy, and you should listen to my podcast if you actually know more about this. But if you think about it in terms of if you have a proof of stake and you have the most of it, you have more say in the network than other people. How Bitcoin was born, Satoshi created it,
if they exist,
the white paper first, and gave everyone a fair chance to mine it before he did. All right?
He's like William Shakespeare.
But then he did end up mining it himself to keep the network alive, right? At first, there was not that many people doing it. But the people that heard about it just like happened onto it.
Is it true there's like 1 million? It's limited to exactly the
21 million only.
21 million Bitcoins ever.
And
right now people are still trying to crack them, but
there's
it gets harder
only
and harder
like
as you
a
go
million left to be mined.
But it gets harder and harder as you go.
To mine it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every 4 years is a halvening of the amount of supply coming out. So if you're a miner, then all a miner means is you're giving the network electricity to build the next set of transactions. So like it's called a blockchain because every 10 minutes there's a new block of transactions that get finalized. That's all it is. So like if I'm sending you, like let's say I'm going to send you money right now, send you Bitcoin. I'm going to type in your address, send it to you. It goes into a queue, right? And this queue is just like a cloud of all these transactions that are hoping to get into the blockchain. A miner will take from this queue whatever they want to put into this next batch of transactions. That's where the fee comes into place. They're going to put in transactions that pay them a high fee for the privilege to be on this network and this transaction be finalized forever. Okay. So they decide this many transactions will fit in a block. There's a size limit of the blocks. So 3 megabytes is the max set of data you can put into a transaction for the Bitcoin blockchain. And the reason why these properties are important because every blockchain tweaks it slightly. And if you tweak it slightly, it changes the makeup of the network. So Bitcoin has specific properties and has specific limits on the size of these blocks to maintain its decentralization. If we did it like 1,000 megabytes per block or a gig, right? Only huge companies with huge web servers can actually finalize these transactions.
Right. 3.5 megabytes, you can fit that on a floppy disk.
You could send it over radio. So think about that.
Morse code.
Yeah. So you could distribute these and that maintain the
smoke signals.
Yeah, it maintains the decentralization of the network. Technically, you could do a blockchain with it doesn't have to be computers. We could hand write a blockchain. That's getting to a whole other thing.
The point is, it's a long receipt. Everybody has the same copy of the same information, and it's decentralized because everybody has the same copy, so nobody can hack it. Because if one person messed with the blockchain, everybody else would know.
You just need one.
It's verifiable.
You just need
like
one.
The gold.
Yeah, exactly. I forget where I was going with that, but Bitcoin makes specific trade-offs versus other currencies to maintain its decentralization. They didn't have a pre-mine. So there's not one foundation that has it. It's been distributed over the last 13 years. So not one person has all the Bitcoin. It's very the supply, because it came from grassroots, it's very spread out. It's hard to recreate that, and that's why another currency can't just come in and take over. And why I don't like Ethereum in particular is because it is proof of stake. And it had that pre-mine.
But it has the association with all of the NFTs and all of this culture, all the art world it's all ETH. I'm doing it now.
Yeah. I mean,
look at me grow.
That's fine. It just doesn't change the world, so it doesn't do anything for me.
You don't think art changes the world?
Not an NFT. Art's cool, but I could look at that art. It doesn't.
You don't own
it.
You don't own any NFTs?
Not on.
Or you don't
not on
believe
Ethereum. I do own an NFT on Bitcoin. But so even if we go back to this, what properties of NFTs actually do anything? What is an NFT? Can you answer this? You've talked to 5 people on your podcast trying to explain NFTs to you, and I disagree with them because the properties of an NFT, so an immutable, it's a receipt, right? Is what it is. An immutable receipt is only as good as the network it's on. So, and the contract. So on Ethereum, and we're getting really weedy and
it's fun.
I don't know how many people are going to even follow this at all.
Dude, it's great.
So an Ethereum, it's an NFT is a smart contract saying that's traded on the, so in that example, it's saying on this block, I gave this contract to you, meaning you own this picture. But everyone owns the picture. We could all see it. I could download it, right? To my,
You can't have it as your icon.
why not? I could
on
download
Twitter.
it right now and put it as my icon.
But Twitter has a special setup where it's a hexagon only for people who own it.
True. Now,
Also,
let's
everybody
say,
can see who owns it on MetaMask or on whatever
so
OpenSea.
it's a
You
social
can
so
see
this is a social contract that
who
was
owns it,
constructed.
who
Not
sold it, for how much, at what time.
agreed, 100%. And this
Why did it go from 60K to 1K? What happened to those NFTs?
because no one cares about them because they're not finite. They're not scarce. I can make a million NFTs right now, and they depend on like your ability to read a contract and the knowledge to know that someone can't mess up that contract on the other side.
You're very bearish on the NFTs.
So on
Dap.
Ethereum, yes, so bearish, and I've been correct for the most part, for now, because they can't enforce anything in the real life. So think about this.
What about in the virtual world? Don't you think that the virtual space will become more and more important, and owning these type of objects and these type of clothing characters
So
and all of this for a video game that our lives will become eventually?
So they were
at least while we're sleeping?
created for that immutable purpose, right? So, so someone else can't change your skin or delete it, right? But if the Ethereum network goes down, or the smart contract to the server that the original image was pointing to doesn't exist anymore, your NFT doesn't exist unless it was actually minted on the blockchain. So that remember those 3 megabytes I was talking about?
Yeah.
Let's say I put the picture in on those 3 megabytes, then yeah, it's truly there forever.
So
but it's just a point to that spot. You can't actually trade that spot again. You can just trade the idea that you are pointing to that spot. Does that make sense at all?
a little. You don't feel like it's verifiable or reproducible enough. It's not secure enough.
It's not
the
secure
NFTs aren't
enough.
secure enough for you.
On Ethereum, yeah, it's not secure
Interesting.
enough.
That's interesting.
So it doesn't actually solve anything. Like if for most NFTs on Ethereum, it's a smart contract pointing to another server. So it basically says, it just has like the www at this in that smart contract saying that's your NFT. So the actual picture is not on the blockchain.
Right.
That's for 99% of NFTs on Ethereum.
So then why control the size of the art? Why do all this pixel art if it's not actually on the chain?
Because it's cool. It's like so the
I feel
original.
like
So
they're
some of the
pretending.
NFTs were on chain because
Yeah.
of the pixel art thing. So like CryptoPunks are, I forget all the. I'm not like super big into Ethereum NFTs, but like CryptoPunks, I know for 100% fact are. And so this is a go back to why I own one on Bitcoin, is because there was a new protocol. It's built on top of Bitcoin, but essentially it puts actual images on chain. And if this is the network that's going to last forever, in my opinion, then those are like, someone might value it. I still think it's dumb. Just like I think collecting Beanie Babies are dumb. Like, it's the same thing. I was never a big collector because it doesn't like. It to me, it's like a period of abundancy is when you are doing all these collecting meaningless things. It doesn't actually like do anything for anyone other than the person that is holding it for a symbol status. And like, to me, like that doesn't help progress the world in any way. So it's not like something that I personally want to do. But I do see I get why some people, like, it's human nature to have symbol statuses. So I get why some people might do it. But if you're going to do it, you might as well do it in a way that lasts forever.
One of my first interviews was with my grandpa, Lou Goldzer. I've shown this to a couple people, but it's one of his stereo viewers. It's from his collection. And this is how it works. So.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
I know exactly. Yeah.
So you put the slide in here. You look in, and it's like an early form of 3D.
That's super cool.
He has one, he had ones that were as big as like furniture within the room that he would buy from estate sales in France and things. And when I interviewed him, I asked him why he collected these, and his answer was he went to a lecture, and the point of the lecture was that people should have a collection, that everyone should have one collection, that it makes you a more interesting person, maybe, or something like that. And this was his. I wonder.
I agree,
If that
100%. But he
connects.
wasn't trying to make money off of this.
Never.
That's the difference.
Never.
It's two, a physical thing. It's one, a physical thing, and two, he wasn't trying to make money off of it. So my problem with NFT culture is it's just a flipping culture. It's just a gambling culture. And like, if you truly appreciated the art, you don't actually need to have the NFT. You could just like have the image, not as a status symbol.
But why would somebody want the Mona Lisa rather than a photo of the Mona Lisa?
A status symbol. And it's like true. There was truly like hard work gone into it.
It's innately beautiful.
Sure.
It's remarkable. It's a valuable thing.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
The aesthetic of it is pleasing.
Yeah, but like I could appreciate that without owning it. I could go to the museum and like it.
But you might not be able to. A lot of art is in private hands. Imagine all the art from the
I know,
Gardner,
but if it's
the Isabella Gardner Museum. Do you know about this?
I agree with you.
All in private hands.
It's different when it's digital, though.
Vermeers.
Yeah.
That will never be seen again. They're on somebody's yacht
It's
in
like
the
that
Middle East.
Wu-Tang album.
Yeah,
Shkreli, yeah.
Shkreli. Martin Shkreli.
I agree with that.
He had to sell it though, right?
Yeah,
They
because
made
he
him
went
sell
to
it?
jail.
Yeah.
And he needed to pay for some things.
What do you think about the choice to release it in that way?
You mean release that how they did it, Wu-Tang?
Right.
No, that was cool. Because that to me is like true scarcity. Then, if it could, if you couldn't bring it out to the world and you're the only person that could ever listen to it, that's cool.
Don't you think that part of the reason to make hip hop music
Was
is
to give it to the world?
Communicate information to
They gave us
a
so much.
population and
They gave us so much though.
to influence politics, to change culture?
Not anymore.
Because we can't even understand what they're saying.
Partly,
Hibbity
yeah.
hoobla.
But, like, there hasn't been I don't think there's been a good social rapper that's come out in the last 5
Kendrick.
years. 5 years.
J. Cole and Kendrick, right?
They've been out. They're old heads now.
Somebody found I think I really like this Instagram account from this German DJ,
Mhm.
female German DJ.
Emmy?
Nah, I think
Or she's French. Never mind.
hip hop DE is something hip hop.de. She collects all these like hip hop interviews and things. They found J. Cole at some concert at the age of 10, 11, 12, whatever. They found him in the
That's so
in the
cool.
frame. Yeah, that's cool.
I saw him at Wale brought him on stage in like 2008 or 2009. And then I saw him at a opening for Rihanna in California in 2011.
It's
or
crazy you
2010.
mentioned Wale and Rihanna. They were both on the Kanye tour that Bonix brought me to, the All of the Lights tour.
That's so sick.
They were both openers
That's so
for the All of the
crazy.
Lights show in Scranton, which is near you. Sort of.
Yeah.
We drove out to Scranton with Tall Kathy, Scotro, I think. I forgot to ask him if he was on this trip, but I think he was there. And Bonix
That's so cool.
in a car. We went and stayed in a hotel and then saw Kanye, very young Kanye, almost like Polo, like Pink Polo type
Mhm.
Kanye, which I've seen almost every tour. And then
How do you feel about him these days?
I think he's a fucking genius.
Still?
He's-
Even with all his comments? I wouldn't ask you.
Everybody takes it out of context, right? DEFCON 3. I mean, obviously it's very tongue in cheek. I think he's a little misguided about the Jews. I think he's bought into some of the tropes and stereotypes about Jews run Hollywood, Jews run the media, whatever. But like, the Jewish people did start Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are true statements, but like
but
like there's connotation to it that is obviously very negative.
Yeah.
My girl obviously is not a big Kanye fan these days.
Yeah.
Some
DJs say they can't play it
I haven't
anymore.
been playing.
You don't play it at all?
I try not to. I played
Like Gold Digger?
in Paris the other day.
Yeah, that's a great record. The whole album's phenomenal.
But if you were at the 2000s parties, I haven't been playing him. I've been letting everyone else play Kanye,
So interesting.
which is like he ran. Like I feel like I'll work it back in eventually,
Not ready.
but I'm not there. And it's really because I hear my girl in my ear. And like I get the requests for it. Yeah, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't care if other people play it. I'm just.
I wouldn't play. Like I think R. Kelly is sort of done.
Yeah, R. Kelly is.
Although
a no.
Ignition, I would play just because it's the greatest record of all time.
Haven't heard it since.
Nobody plays it, right?
Nope.
I'd play it. No problem.
You get some looks.
I would, if I played it at the right time, everyone would just lose their minds dancing. They wouldn't even think twice. It's just one of the greatest R&B records of all time.
I agree with that statement, and
Top 5.
It sucks that you
Top
can't.
10.
I loved R. Kelly music, like that was my shit. Like I
Great
love
artist.
that stuff.
Terrible.
I'm doing these. I want to do these R&B parties. I can't even play R. Kelly. Like, give me a break.
A lot of R&B artists, right? Chris Brown.
Yeah. Well, he still gets.
You
played.
play him?
Yeah. I play Chris Brown. I feel like he's not canceled to the level. Why? Because the Rihanna stuff.
Yeah.
That's been so long, and she did songs with him after. Like,
so it's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women move back in with their abusive partners.
I feel like there was some stuff with it that like has been hashed out, and it's cool. He's been forgiven for years.
By you?
Probably like most people. I would say. I don't know all the other stuff he does, and that's something that's I'm trying to think about. Like, I hate following all this stuff, but like you kind of have to if you're doing big spots, and I hate it.
You're responsible in some ways for the people that you promote. You're promoting individuals. You're not just playing music.
Yeah, I hate that.
What do you think is the hardest part of DJing right now?
Playing songs I don't like.
Do you do it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I like good DJing more than I hate the music.
But I still don't understand what you mean when you say good DJing.
So it's a combination of things. Like, and when I say that, I mean it in different contexts. So like good party rocking is part of that. Like,
moving the crowd?
Yeah, moving
keeping
the crowd.
people dancing?
Mm-hmm, 100%. And like playing, you know what like a good DJ is, and it's kind of hard to like put into words every time. But like they're keeping the energy at a certain level based on the songs that they're playing and how fast they're mixing and how clean the mix is, whether the crowd knows it or not. All that's part of good DJing. And so like playing a song that gets everyone going, whether I like it I'll play songs that I don't like, but as long as I don't hate it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think you're selling yourself short.
Not at all. You like have to play these songs.
Records you love. I don't think you do.
If you're doing like
it depends on what you think your job is. Is your job to make people dance, or is your job to change people's minds?
The job is to make people dance.
Not necessarily. It's to get them to spend their money. That's why a lot of the time when I'm talking to DJs, they're like, yeah, I kept them on the dance floor all night. I'm like, well, actually, I got them to the bar 6 times
both.
Intentionally by playing ballads.
Well, you're going to bring them back next month because you had them dancing the whole time. So they're going to be there. It's both.
It depends if there's a cover charge or a bar fee, right? It's like,
so, I mean, if I play a song that no one knows and they get off the dance floor and then they leave, like that, I just didn't do my job. You know, like my job is to keep them happy because they're more likely to spend money then.
So you
but
should
also
do birthday shout outs.
But do it in a way.
Time.
But it's like it's doing it in a way that's like still respectful to the craft of DJing, and that's how I think about DJing. So I'll play any song that I don't hate that isn't cheesy to me, and as long as I'm mixing it in a cool way, like I have like respect for myself at the end of the night.
I won't even put them on my hard drive. I'm trying to build a new hard drive where it's only records that I love. Like I won't I saw House Shoes rock a few times. One time, the first time I saw him, he was like legendary for this, I guess, afterwards, but I didn't know. He put a record on, played a little bit of it. I guess he was mixing, immediately grabs it off the turntable and snaps it in half and throws it.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's like, he has a following.
Command Shift Delete.
He like, so there's two different types of parties, right? So like, and what I'm talking about is like doing the bottle service, like, or like the flats, or like,
where is there bottle service in Pittsburgh?
There's
Cavo?
There's Cavo and Foxtail Enclave.
Enclave, yeah.
I'm not doing those spots.
Do you like, what do you want to do?
I'm really wrestling with this right now because I want to be good in like all around. Like my goal is to be like a very well-rounded DJ that could rock that spot. But then I also want to build these parties where I could play the stuff that I want to play. So that's what Daps and Pounds is. That's what Daps and Hugs is.
What's the stuff you want to play?
Like all these stuff I have on SoundCloud. So that's for Daps and Pounds. So like these crazy Baile Funk edits and like kind of Latin, but like mixed with like hip hop and
like the mixes that I saw, like the mixes that I heard on Mixcloud, the Daps and Pounds mixes.
Yes.
It sounds like more Latin influence.
Yes.
Kind of like more reggaeton kind of.
Yes.
That's
like stuff like that. I mean, I was always into big like percussion stuff, but
yeah,
I also like trappy things that are like
no wonder you
danceable.
like Diplo.
Yeah, huge Diplo made me want to like be a producer. Huge Diplo influence, like Diplo, Skrillex, like that era changed. Like, but I was also like big into early hip hop stuff and like the Pharrell. Like Pharrell's, in terms of like me producing and like the sound I really liked was for heavy Pharrell influence, heavily Diplo influence. Skrillex, and then like Mr. Carmack. Do you know those like SoundCloud trap guys?
I don't know.
Oh, you got to listen.
I'll find out.
You have to listen to Carmack,
thanks.
Sammy G. I'll send you all that stuff.
Nice.
It like changed my. So the reason I stopped producing too was because Sammy G got so good at doing the sound I wanted to do.
That's hard.
Yeah, like he was like 16, 17 making the sound that I was trying to get to my whole life.
Yeah, I think Spinna is like that for me. Like you hear something that's so good, you're just like, I'm quitting.
Yeah,
this is they finished
exactly
like the final level.
Exactly,
they already beat the game.
Yeah,
what's the purpose of me coming in? I mean, in some ways, you can use that logic with anything: podcasting, DJing, being a doctor, a neurologist, a pharmacist. I think it can be a bit of a trap.
Yeah,
because we're exposed to a lot more people now than people were in history.
100%.
You have access to the greats at the tip of your finger when you're looking at videos online, scrolling. It's so antithetical to wellness because what you're seeing is the very finished, edited, filtered, best, most ultimate example of everything. And it can be discouraging. I can't even think, I think about for my kids, what they're going to experience. My daughter, what she's going to see online, that it's just, it can be so discouraging. It can also be very encouraging. But I think basically the answer is put the phone down and pick up a book. It's like, just get away from it. Go analog.
Touch grass.
Yeah, hug the trees, put your feet in the grass, go yell into the void, go camp, go hike. Just reorient yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
Spend more time with yourself, less time with all of these other people that are vying for your attention. Pay more attention to your own internal thoughts and where they're coming from. Your thoughts aren't your own.
Yeah.
They're influenced by everything that you've been exposing yourself to.
100%.
Why would you want all of these companies, bots, foreign entities that are all vying for your attention to be inserting thoughts into your mind? It's dangerous.
Definitely. And that, when you ask me what the hardest part about DJing, one is probably playing those songs that you don't like, and then two is like this social media era, and like dealing with, for me personally, is dealing with all that. Like I really wanted to stop posting, and I did for a little bit, and then I realized like I still want to DJ. Like I want to be out here DJing. Like I enjoy this. I enjoy it so much that I have to play this like kind of game. And then just seeing everyone else that you consider a peer and comparing yourself to them and like seeing them do things that like at a faster rate than you, and just like trying to, it's like I did all these battles or whatever, I won, and like the next day I wasn't like,
you weren't trending anymore.
No, yeah, I wasn't thinking about like, I wasn't reflecting on really like that I was happy that I put all this time and whatever. It was just like, what's the next move? And I'm still thinking about that like every day. It's like I'm trying to think about the next move, and not like be here present right now. I'm trying to work on that. That's tough,
That's such a great point. The social media, the way that they monetize is by getting more engagement and more attention.
Yeah.
And the way that they do that is by manipulating you into posting more engaging, more attention grabbing things. Right?
Yeah.
You are the product.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just that your attention is what's commodifiable or marketable. It's that you're making the content for them.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
You are their employee, basically, generating content that's engaging. And so they're always going to be pushing you to produce the next thing that's going to trap people's eyeballs. Fortunately, I think I found the sweet spot with the podcast in terms of how much energy I can put into it and how to capture attention and engagement and generate interest and intrigue and momentum without burning myself out or taking too much time away from my family, taking too much time away from my job, or DJing, which I'd love to explore more, or my other hobbies, whatever, photography.
You have a lot of hobbies, man. I was gonna ask you how
too much, too damn much.
Like watching you out exhausts me.
When I'm at at shows and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like, how are you doing all this? Like, I said no to like a lot of things because I knew I couldn't, or like I didn't start DJing a lot again until I was able to do the pharmacy thing at a level that I thought was acceptable for myself.
Yeah.
And so like you obviously have a very like intense job, and I see you, out, like to me, like I don't go out unless I'm DJing, really. And like on a Friday, I will.
You were here since 2011, putting in the work. I'm trying to get back into it. I've been away from Pittsburgh since 2011. That's the year I left. I've been out for 10 years.
Energy wise, how are you doing it?
8 years from residency, fellowship, and med school.
Because I was tired a lot.
I never had that issue. Like I've always kind of not needed that much sleep and been pretty high energy.
Jealous.
I do try not to eat too badly. I try to eat pretty well, and I've been doing less caffeine.
Yeah.
I do drink a little bit less.
Yeah.
Probably, and exercise is pretty important. But I think it's just more how I'm built. I think.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of people that I need like 8 hours, or I'm like not functioning.
Yeah, not
so
necessarily.
Doing these Wednesdays on Goldmark right now is like.
The Wednesday nights, and then you're at work on Thursday morning.
Yeah, well, luckily, so far, I've been at like I can make my own hours when I'm at the nursing home. So I'm not always in the pharmacy. Sometimes I have to go into the nursing home, and I review charts or whatever. So I could push it to like I don't have to be there till noon or 2 or whatever. Like and just work 8 hours there.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky that I've had that, but there's gonna be a month where I have to be at the pharmacy the next day at 8:30, and that I'm probably gonna just have someone cover me, like or those last 2 hours.
It probably takes away from your ability to travel too for music, for DJing, right? Like,
what do you mean?
Having a JO, like having a 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah.
That probably is the main thing. Like you can't pull yourself away from Pittsburgh so easily to play Cleveland, to play Cincinnati, to play DC, New York, Philly.
Yeah. So like driving out to Cleveland after I'm working a full day. Like so the first one I did, I worked a full day, 9 to 5:30.
Yeah.
Drove out to Cleveland, and then DJ'd, midnight to 2 a.m. And I was just like,
this is for the battle?
No, this was
Crash the Decks?
No, I did Crash the Decks was here.
The Barley, what was the
Barley House?
Barley House was the battle you won in Cleveland.
So this was my first day at the
You had
residence.
multiple rounds.
No, this is my first day as a resident. So I did also win
congrats.
Thanks. But I did also do that twice for the battle. But I was off the next day both times.
Yeah.
Because I was driving back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I'm mentally drained because like work is mentally draining. So then, and you have to be kind of sharp. Like DJing's mentally draining. Like, a lot of people don't realize. Like, after every set, if I did a good job, I'm tired.
Like, yeah. I wrote a tweet one time. People like that was like after my gigs, I just drive home in silence. You're just so.
I'm always like that. Yeah, I never listen to music after the gig.
Yeah, it burnt out. So, but I used to like having the cash. I loved holding cash from DJing. I thought it was the most amazing thing. Like $200 I used to get from Gabe at S-Bar at the end of the night, all in 20s. And having, 10 20s? Just felt so amazing to have that exchange of my energy, my art, my my passion for this currency that I could use to go buy food. I would go to Permanis in the Strip, Permanis in the Strip, not a Strip, 17th, 18th Street, and Smallman, and they were open all night back then. R.I.P. all night food in Pittsburgh. It's so sad. And it just felt so good to be exchanging it. The best one was when I DJ'd for a shot leather jacket, $850 leather coat that I got for playing the shot opening in New York,
cool.
in Soho.
Yeah.
And they just gave me a coat. I was like, the barter system is amazing.
Yeah.
Love a good barter. And it just feels good to have something that you got from DJing. There's people who have, I mean, think about what Diplo has from DJing, right?
Yeah.
So why keep it? Why keep doing it? Why keep, if it's limiting your options in music, why keep the job?
I don't know. I love it. Like there was periods of time where I thought I was just going to stop. And 2021, 2020 was really like, I thought I was going to stop. For some reason, it's just like, I always go back to it. And like in different capacities. So like there was periods where I was just scratching, but like for some reason, I just like want to be really good at DJ. I want people to like,
no. Why are you going back to your job?
Oh, money. Yeah. That's the main.
Just financial security.
Yeah. So like, I think a lot of it comes from being first generation American, and like I don't even know why I became a pharmacist. Honestly, like, you know how it's probably the same thing when you were applying.
Yeah.
They ask you like, why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
It's just
you
like,
have to write a passion statement.
It's just like
personal statement about your.
I don't know. I was 12. Like I saw pharmacists make a ton of money, and
yeah, he was rocking a gold rope.
Yeah.
He had a Cuban link.
Yeah. Well, I had no like person to look up to that was a pharmacist. I just kind of like picked this thing, and it seemed easy enough for me to like. It seemed attainable. It seemed like something that wouldn't disappoint my parents. You know what I mean? Like they came here, you know, first generation gave me all this like opportunities, and I didn't want to squander that by like, I'm going to pursue music and like maybe make it or not make it. You know, like I want to do it for them and like have like not disappoint them. And, you know, they never like were, you have to be like this, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. But I don't know, like anyone that's a first generation American kind of has that, like they risk so much, or like, you know, your family risks so much, or like you don't want to like ruin it all, right? And you know, like they were always they never were like, you have to get straight A's, but like it was like you have to get straight A's. So like, you know, so like I got straight A's, you know what I mean? Like I did everything that I thought was the correct thing.
Yeah.
And then I spent 6 years in pharmacy school. So like, what am I'm just gonna give it up now? You know, like I would do it. I would give it up if I was. And also, this goes back to my worldview. It's like I see things turning not hard, like I'm not gonna be on the streets, but like I do see things overall financially for most people getting worse, and we've seen it already. Like people can't afford a house like they could, you know, in the 90s.
On a global scale, I think that the data would disagree. So we've pulled billions of people out of poverty over the course of the last 50 years, right? The average person was making less than $1 a day globally 50 years ago.
100%.
Today, it's like 20.
That's a huge jump from that to this. And then us maintaining our current lifestyle is going to get harder. So like we've been we've exploited global poverty for a ton of, so we don't get everything from China.
But that's not causing poverty. That's building jobs for people in China.
I'm not saying that, but we've benefited the most out of this, out of any other country. So for us, so when you pull people out of poverty, you get the.
Oh, you can sell them iPhones. You can sell them iPhones. You can sell them your shit. Sure.
Yeah, but you have the cost of everything else goes up because now you're giving people actual like wages versus like enslavement of like Chinese labor, child labor, stuff like that, which is good for the world. But like if you've been accustomed to a certain lifestyle, which we all have, like we're drinking Starbucks or whatever first thing in the morning, sitting here
Muddy
over
cup,
a
cup
pair
Dormont.
of
Never a Starbucks,
a pair of 1200s and like
which I've
Reign
had since
72.
2007.
I know, but you know what I'm getting at.
2008.
It's just like I have this vision of what I've like kind of wanted or want to maintain.
Yeah.
And being a full-time DJ right now won't get me there.
Won't get you there.
Unless right now I'm totally fine doing both. Like I'm not
healthcare, security for your new family. I mean, you're getting married. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You need some security,
Yeah.
a blanket. And what if another pandemic came along? I mean, where's your DJ career then?
Exactly.
Are you going to be a Zoom DJ?
Yeah, it's nice like having the diversity of income too.
I get paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Do
Just
you?
a little.
Do you?
Yeah, 5%.
That's cool.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
You know what the big problem is, though?
What?
It hits on the exact same day every month. And I think that there's people artificially pumping the price and then dumping the price just when it hits. They know about my direct deposit happening. And so they're scheduling a little pump and dump to happen right when everybody's direct deposit
Is everyone
hits.
getting the same direct deposit?
I'm pretty sure it's common. It's very common.
Yeah, so that's possible.
But I bet there's a way to adjust when the purchase takes place. So I could
definitely
move it to the 1st of the month instead of the 31st or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I should move it to the 20th. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's a pattern, yeah, everyone can see that. Anyone that has like any type of chain analysis can see that. But it's not like, why are you buying Bitcoin right now?
Why am I dollar cost averaging buying Bitcoin?
Into Bitcoin, what?
Why am I investing in Bitcoin? I guess you could say, like,
sure,
because it's a little hedge on the dollar. It's a nice little investment in
Yeah.
the future. And I also believe in a technological future. I think people that don't see the trends are living, their heads are in the sand.
Yeah,
right.
I agree, 100%.
We're moving to a world of artificial intelligence. We're moving to a world of virtual reality. We're moving to a world of drone technology, of EVO, like vertical takeoff and landing. It's drone deliveries, robotic surveillance, robotic, companies that clean robotically. And yeah, it's just job replacement, massive shifts in the demographics and the way that people earn money. It's a complete shift.
Couldn't agree with you more. So if you believe that, if that's true, if like the hedge on the dollar completes itself all the way, Bitcoin's kind of a binary bet. It's either 0 or like 100 million a coin. So like, what does the little fluctuation really matter?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not selling ever,
Yeah. That's kind of how I view it.
Yeah. So, but you're also dollar cost averaging, like you're buying at a regular interval.
Maybe. We're not going to give off my financial advice or my financial positions.
Schemes to
determine
when to buy. You have like limits set. If it hits, less than 15.
I believe in dollar cost averaging.
But that's not what you do.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm not going to
you may
put
or may
this
not.
on. Yeah. But yes, I do heavily believe in
You'll
dollar
tell me after we hang up.
Maybe.
So, okay. Well, I think that's a reasonable, reason to stick around. The other question is the reverse of why you keep DJing, right? So why not just take this to the extreme, become the ultimate pharmacist, open up little pharmacy shops all over America, turn it into like your absolute passion of being a business person and just hang up the 1200s forever.
Yeah, I like going to work is going to work for me. Like it's not something like DJing I look forward to. Even if I'm tired at the end of the day, like I'm looking forward to being up there and like, even if it's a job too. So it's like, obviously DJing sometimes is like very much work.
Yeah.
But even when it's hard, it's less hard than being a pharmacist every day. For me personally, some people there's people that I went to pharmacy school with that like love it. Like they love it so much. And like, I respect them for that. That was never me. Yeah. That's pretty much, that's the reason why I never taken to that extent. And I, to kind of go against that as well. It's like, want to be a good pharmacist too. Like I think I am a very good pharmacist, but I think I would be like that with most jobs. Like I'm just that like I have a hard time being shitty at something. It just like kills me to like I'm super hyper competitive. So like even if there's someone at work that's better than me at something, like I want to at least be to the point where I'm not like a detriment on the team.
How do you feel about St. John's Wort?
I don't know. It does nothing for me.
You don't think about it?
I don't really think about it. So you have to understand too, like I am doing geriatric medicine within the confines of. We could maybe bleep that out. I don't know if we need to put that on blast, but
Yeah.
there's very limited things that we're working with. I'm not going against like I'm not prescribing a period, but like I'm not
Right.
pushing St. John's Wort on.
Were people asking for the ivermectin?
Honestly, not that much. So like we're in the nursing homes mostly. We do have people in the community. Then there were prescribers trying to get some people on it. Insurances didn't want to pay for it, so that's the other thing.
Yeah. So, what do you have coming up that you're excited about on a musical side? Is there? So your party at Goldmark is monthly Wednesday?
Yep, monthly every third Wednesday, Daps and Pounds. So, every third Wednesday of the month.
Congrats on that. That's big.
Yeah, it's super cool. Wednesdays are tough.
Yeah, I saw Climax and was it Bryce?
Yeah.
Wednesdays are really hard, man.
Yeah, and they like obviously both great DJs.
It's just
there's an EDM scene here, but it's hard to get people out on a Wednesday in large mass.
Are you supposed to play electronic music because it's a Wednesday at Goldmark or something?
No,
you can play whatever you want.
Yeah, but I like playing. So I have Daps and Pounds every third Wednesday, and then Daps and Hugs, which is like just a party I'm trying to throw, day parties. Yeah. So the first one you went to on that Wednesday was a Daps and Hugs, but that was like a off Thursday. So they had 5 Thursdays that month. So he gave me that Thursday to do Daps and Hugs. And I never wanted it to be a night thing, but like Nugget had this night, and I was like, yeah, like cool. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying no to Nugget. Like, if he like, he's the man. Like Nugget's the man. So
totally, my second favorite DJ in Pittsburgh.
He's my number one.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he's the best club DJ.
Yeah, I think he's the best overall DJ.
Over Selecta?
100%. I don't even think it's close.
Never.
I don't mean it like that. So like you put Selecta in different environments, he's not going to rock everyone. You put Nugget in any situation, he is going to kill it, no matter what. So if I put Selecta on a hip hop night that's 2020s only, he's toast. He's not rocking it.
What crowd wants just 2020?
Enclave? Not Enclave, but if you would select an Enclave, you think he's going to rock it? If I put Nugget in Enclave, you put Nugget in Enclave,
Nugget would
murder it.
Yeah.
If you put Nugget in any situation.
That's why I said club DJ. He's the best club DJ in Pittsburgh.
He's the best overall DJ in Pittsburgh. He's going to rock every night Selecta rocks too.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
I love Nugget.
Yes.
Like a brother.
He's the best. He's the best to me. In terms of like, I think ADMC is the best battle DJ. And I think he also has been missing on your list for some reason. No one has been mentioning him at all in any of your podcasts. He's incredible too.
Nugget?
No, ADMC.
Oh, ADMC. Yeah. Yeah. I respect what he does. And did you say he's the best battle DJ? Was that your thing? Yeah. Yeah, I really respect what he does. I think, I DJ'd with him way back in the day when he was Kusatroa. Do you remember those days?
No,
Adam Kusatroa. I think it's probably his last name, DJ Kusatroa, whatever. He used to have the braids, the Goldilocks braids. I miss the braids, Adam. I will say, like, I think when he had the long hair, maybe it was like a little more open, but I don't know. It's become too technical for me a little bit.
Have you been watching his Twitches at all?
I don't. The live streams. I was watching for a while. Like I would watch those, and it's a really cool community. I think what he's built on Twitch is awesome. I really like he was doing this whole alcohol fueled like tequila thing, and everybody was kind of involved, and I was really impressed.
I think he had some incredible you know, he did the Battlegory set. His Battlegory set was incredible for like when we did the thing at the stadium. My only thing with him and is like I don't, and he DJs at Belvedere's like right down the block from where I live.
Yeah.
I haven't been going in a lot recently because I don't want to go to theme nights every night.
He does a lot of Drake and Miley Cyrus.
I just wish he did more just like general open nights, and then I think everyone would see like he's up there. Like if he, you know, and I haven't seen him rock those, so I can't speak to that. And that's
Saturdays he does like the emo nights and things.
Yeah, I mean he crushes his theme nights, but like it's a theme night. You know, I don't want to go to Saturday. I don't like Taylor Swift, so I don't want to go to the Taylor Swift one.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with Swift either. I was talking shit on her on here, but
we're gonna get canceled.
Very emotional. Like if you actually listen to the records,
hers,
they will pull you. Yeah, they'll pull you right back to your like major breakup or some like real like emotional time in your life. It's actually very powerful music. I get now that I've listened to a couple of them why people like it.
Yeah, I get why people like it.
I don't relate to it anymore.
It's just not for me.
It's drivel. It's just emotional drivel. It's just designed to attack your limbic system. It's like putting an electrode in somebody's amygdala and just bzzz.
Yeah. So I mean, I wish he just did more open nights and I would be there, and then I could come back with you with a better argument why, you know, he's better than all these other people.
I don't think so. I don't think he has like the timing like perfect. Sometimes makes me wonder, like, you know, about the musicality, like musicianship. There's this whole element of musicianship in DJing.
I agree.
Where when people are mixing, you can actually hear if their cuts are perfectly timed, whether or not their blends are always 4, 8, and 16 bars, if they're doing like 3-bar.
That's what I mean about good DJing. When I was saying good DJing, that's what I mean. Like getting that off in like the right way. And I'm not always there either. I play sloppy sometimes, like.
But I love the sloppiness, and I actually think it's an advantage. And I wonder when I was seeing you if you were pressing the sync button.
Oh, I'm totally cool with pressing the sync button.
Your team sync.
I don't do it all the time. So sync will mess you up sometimes. So like I don't always do it. If I need to do it, I'll do it. Meaning like I'm more focused on picking the right song next.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm taking it to the last second of like finding this perfect song, and I find it, but like the 8 bar is about to come up, I need to drop it, I'll hit sync.
Yeah.
But like sync, if I always have sync on, and you don't DJ with sync, so you won't know this, but if you always have sync on, and like you have it like +8 or whatever, like it'll ruin if you need to like change, like if it was off, like sometimes the sync is off, it's not perfect, and like if you're trying to adjust it and you like go down a little bit, like it's kind of hard to explain, but it'll just be off, and like it'll ruin transitions. To me, so the sync button, and this is why I'm team sync, it's literally the same thing as looking at your laptop. And every DJ in Pittsburgh nonstop looks at their laptop, drives me crazy, except for Selecta. And, you know, he's the most anti-technology person, DJ. I've had conversations with him. He hates sync more than any human.
Okay, anti-sync, but definitely not anti-tech. I mean, he's DJing on a computer 99% of the time.
Oh,
he's one of the only video DJs in Pittsburgh.
Like, I mean, like in terms of like making things easier.
Like controller, like going to controller, going to sync.
Yes. Yeah. Which is like, it's literally the same thing as looking at the laptop and moving the number. That is what sync does. All sync does is make the number the same as the other side. So if you're DJing 128 on this side, 126 on this side, and you're looking at that number and you change it to 128, that's literally all sync is doing. It is not keeping the beats in line.
I know.
So what is the problem?
Well, I'll tell you.
I'll
tell you how it interferes with my
This conversation has been hashed out since 2009.
Sure.
Like a million times. All the best DJs in the world use it. That's like open format DJs.
Good
Jazzy Jeff, Four Color Zach, Miles Medina, Jay Espinoza.
You can do it right. And here's how you do it wrong, in my estimation, as someone who's never dabbled.
Yeah.
I never touch the stuff.
But I don't try not to.
It's like heroin. Not interested.
I have been doing it. I do it like here and there. Like I don't always do it.
Dabble. Yeah. You're a dabbler. You're chipping.
Yeah.
You're just chipping.
It's the same thing as like why I'm cool with DJing on anything. It's
on
like
controllers and everything. Yeah. It's just like it's a tool
that
allows you to be more versatile.
Yes.
allows you to play a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the downsides.
It's playing fast.
Yeah, quick mixing is wonderful, and I think it's it's an important tool.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have the sync, I think it encourages you to get into the next song a little too fast sometimes, instead of letting one ride, maybe, which you might do if you needed a little more time to cue it up in order to hear it. It also might interfere with your ability to, or the time that you need or take to get the intonation right and to mix in key. I think
mix and key.
yeah, but using the numbers versus using your ears is two totally different things.
Sure.
Because the numbers are usually right, but they're not perfect.
Yeah, 100%.
And the art of DJing, of putting the headphones on, of hearing the next song, hearing the blend in your head, and getting things matched up. I think we're losing it. I mean, there's DJs I've had on here who I've interviewed who don't have they don't have any MP3s and they don't use headphones. So there's a wide range, right? You're collecting MP3s.
Heavy.
You've been collecting MP3s since you were 10 on LimeWire and
I lost everything.
Napster.
Twice.
Really?
Twice I lost everything. Now I have like 1,000 backups, but
2 libraries gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything I had when I was a kid. Honestly, it drives me crazy. Luckily, MPEZ hooked me up with a lot of stuff that we had together, a ton of old stuff. But
some of your edits, like stuff that you made.
Oh yeah, so I was producing since I was 12, and I had so many unfinished songs on this hard drive that I crashed.
Yeah.
I was able to.
Did you do data recovery? Like you sent it to somebody?
So I kept the samples and the files on, or not the file. I kept the files on my laptop, which was fine.
Yeah.
But all my music was on an external and all the samples were on external. So I was able to kind of recreate a lot of them, because if you have a project open, it'll just when you open Serato and it has all the files missing.
Yeah.
It's still there, the name of the files. So I was able to download some of the sample packs.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Again, and rebuild some of these tracks, but some of them no, I wasn't able to find again.
Just let it go, man.
Yeah, so I've recreated a whole library since this was 2013 was
and
the last
time. And it got you twice.
2013 and 2011.
Yeah, I've been fortunate never to really lose my library. I still have the same library since I started DJing in some ways.
That's cool.
Like 2008, 2009.
Mine's a mess.
But it needs to go. So my buddy Ant Smith, another DJ, his advice was, and what he's done is to start anew, build a empty crate, empty folder, and only add things that you love, that you're passionate about, or that you're going to play. For you, a lot of them would just be you're going to play, whatever, no problem. But I haven't done that. I've just been trying to remove instead of trying to add, and it's a totally different activity.
Yeah. I haven't been really removing anything. I did in the pandemic. I deleted all my crates.
That's
so
cool.
I had years and years of crates, and I deleted all of them.
Yeah.
And I just started tagging everything in the comments, and that's how I was organizing. Because I saw, who was it?
I like that.
I saw someone DJing online with just no crates, just typing stuff in. I've learned that it's very hard to do because you get stuck in I don't know, if you didn't I have so many songs. If I didn't tag something, I'm forgetting all these songs that I wish I should have had in a crate.
But is it ever really the appropriate song? Is it not appropriate? Is it ever really the best possible song that you could be playing at that moment?
No.
If it's not in your head and it's on the screen instead? If God gives it to me, it's going to be a better record than if my old self gave it to me.
I guess, but it goes back to thoughts coming from external places. It's
sure.
Sometimes I come up with a song because I saw another song,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Or you see the routine forming itself in your head.
So now I'm back to having a million crates. It just has happened.
You name them based on the event.
Yeah, I've been doing based on the event or bar or vibe, and then I'll move them. So now, I don't know. I had something for the flats, and then I had Twisted Jimmy that I did an IUP under there, and all these other weird. I just started building them, but now it's becoming a mess again. It's I don't have the answer here. If someone help me, please. Help me organize my music. I don't know. How are you guys doing this?
There were a couple people that were tweeting yesterday about how much money would you pay somebody to organize your library for you?
Couldn't do it because I need to know in my brain where things are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. It's just like having somebody pack up your house for you
Yeah.
and move it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just pointless because you're not going to know where anything is when it gets
Exactly.
unpacked. I think that's right. You got to put in the time and effort, but that time is just so much better used in some other way, right?
Yeah.
Maybe just
Like I
let
haven't been touching my turntables as much because I've been organizing my music so much for these different events and parties. It used to be a time where I didn't need to do this and I was just like playing. I don't know. Like I was literally the other day. So I have Serato history. I by
yeah.
accident exported all my history into crates. So it's every single session in Serato. It was in a crate, but I've moved things around, so they're all missing. But I was playing like these parties so open. Like I was switching genres so quick in 2016, and like from here to there. I was like, I don't know how I was DJing back then. Like it's like I really have no idea how I was doing this. And I think it's just I had less music. So like I
Well,
was just playing bangers after bangers in all genres because they were
yeah.
all just there. I could just like go by BPM.
How much do you think, right now? Or do you know,
I have no idea.
like on your laptop? You're talking
Literally no.
terabytes or less?
No, I'm
Hundreds
500
of gigabytes.
gigs.
500. It's a
Probably
lot.
close to 500 gigs.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like 120,
Yeah.
which is also a
Maybe
huge
less. Maybe
amount.
probably I think maybe like 300 to 500 probably.
It's so much, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to get down to 20 gigs or less.
Some of it might just be mixes and stuff too. Like I need to delete. Like I've been recording
Sure.
recently. I've been recording everything I've been doing
Yeah.
so I could listen back.
That's cool.
I've been
Recording
like-
every set and putting them up on your Mixcloud.
No, I'm not putting anything up. I'm just like listening and like studying myself.
Interesting. But you're missing out on a huge piece of data if you don't have video. You need to be
I do have video.
You have the video of the crowd too?
Yeah,
so you can
I have the
watch how they're
360
reacting.
camera.
Now, I hate 360 cameras, but in this instance, I think it could be an enormously beneficial tool, and you could market this. So what you could do is you could program the 360 cam to give you information about what the dance floor is doing, what the density of the people on the dance floor is doing, and then you could sell that to DJs as a form of an analysis that would allow them to improve their sets. So you could
I'm
sync
working
it
on
up.
myself first, and I don't do every night. It's like
But do you
Also,
see what
I've
I'm
been do-
saying?
yeah,
It
no,
would
100%.
give you information about which songs cleared the dance floor and which songs populated the dance floor, and then it could tag them for you automatically and show you.
that's some AI stuff. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm not there yet, and like once I am at these, I haven't done any event that would have been that informative yet. So
Fair.
and hopefully I'll get
Fair.
there.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm DJing, I almost want to like take notes, like on my own shit,
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get.
like a pad and
I'm
paper.
just
or
trying to get
something.
better. Like
Yeah, it's been so long. I'm trying to think. I mean, I played a wedding in Charleston, which was really fun on sticks. Never did that before.
Yeah.
I
I
sticks
started
and
recently.
CDJs.
I started been messing around with CDJs.
Yeah, sticks are cool. I like the idea of having all my music tagged appropriately, so I could put them on sticks and go rock.
It's hard. You have to be really organized to play on CDJs. Open format on CDJs. If you're playing like one genre or whatever, like doing these.
Oh yeah, house would be no problem at all because who gives a shit what I play next? Everybody's just gonna lose their heads. It's like no problem. It's like sorry, it's not that hard, guys. Playing 128 all night long, it's not that hard. It's not. It's not.
I sort of agree and also disagree. Just because like a good DJ is a good DJ. Like a good house DJ that is great at house is better than like us, that open format only DJs that are dabbling into house. They just play it different. Well, I play house like a hip hop DJ.
Right, you're doing like 4-bar blends.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and you have like edits and things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's sound quality, having the right sound system, having the right sub. I mean, you can't really do a house set at Goldmark. No offense, Nugget, I love you, bro, but there's no like sub. You don't have that level of bass to really like do house music right. I think you need a room shaker. Like you got to
That's
be
good.
able to feel that
That's a good point.
in your soul. There's also not a big enough dance floor to let loose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's perfect for open formats. Like it's a DJ's bar, it's not like
Love that spot.
not for EDM, man. No. Which is maybe why the Wednesdays are tough, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
So like I'm playing, I'm not just playing EDM on Wednesdays. Like
right.
I want it to be similar to Daps and Hugs where I'm playing funky stuff, but also give room for world music and house and all that.
I'm a piano.
Yeah, for sure. I don't love I'm a Piano, honestly. I think it's like
Sleepy, right?
I think it's the most watered down version of
world
music.
Right?
It's like not
of African
yes.
like house.
Yeah. Like I love
Yeah.
Baila Funk way more.
It's more lit.
Yeah.
The one remix you did, which I really liked, sounded like Be More Club, the bootleg.
Yeah, so I used to make Be More Club like edits when I was really young. Like it was
Nice.
easy. I mean, there was like mashup days, like MySpace mashup days.
Yeah.
Like I was making all sorts of Be More edits.
I have a Titsworth and Ayers record behind me, which is the Infinite Loops, one of my favorite records.
Yeah.
Do you know about this where it just plays?
No.
Yeah, so the record is cut so that it runs through the song
loop.
16 times,
I know.
and then it cuts you back to the first one.
Oh yeah, I
It
know
has a
exactly what you're talking about.
And then
There used to be scratch records like that.
Yeah, infinite loops so you can practice scratching.
Yeah,
on it.
that's cool.
Do you still have all your vinyl?
Most of it's my dad's, but yeah.
But you were teaching from 10. I guess.
I have.
What year was that?
I have
when you started 11, 12.
2003, 4. I had vinyl. Yeah, I have. We used to have like the record pools or whatever. They used to send us vinyl monthly. But I remember like as soon as I started learning and like getting to that point, like Serato, Final Scratch was first.
Yeah.
Then I was on Torque.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Briefly, that little knob, that stupid.
I was on it
knob.
for years. Like
the Torque knob.
Yeah. It looked like a piece of plastic. But my parents didn't want to buy me like all this stuff. Like I was buying this stuff myself.
Yeah.
Like.
Were you going into the city to hear DJs?
No. Right. Like I didn't have interactions with other DJs besides DJ Ampez and my dad, who was like sort of DJing, and he was only really playing house. Like my dad was like a house DJ.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Was there a culture out in like Montauk and
not from? I'm far from Montauk. I'm like several hours away from Montauk.
What about the Hamptons and?
Yeah, like same thing. Several hours. So I wasn't never out there.
Yeah, but that was probably a thing, right? I mean, the yoga teachers that I'm friends with and things, they all have retreats out there. I imagine there's a culture of
probably
of recreation and entertainment.
There's these parties. Yeah, I know there's parties out there. I just never went. Especially when I was, I don't know. Like I was when I was in New York. I was. Yeah, I was.
You're going to Queens.
I'm closer to Queens. Yeah. So, but I really wasn't like I was too young to like go out.
Well, you were in high school. Where did you go to high school?
Yeah. Calhoun, Sanford H. Calhoun High School.
In Long Island.
Long Island. Yeah, but like my friends weren't into DJing. So I grew up in like Long Island is the most segregated place in the country de facto. Meaning my town, 99% white. Literally, if I go around the block, it's like 85% black. If I go around the block from there, it's like 65% Hispanic. I just happened to be like not white in like the all white school.
Yeah.
But like none of my friends were like heavy into hip hop like that, like I was, or like into like DJing at all. So like no, I had no one to like go to these things with, and I obviously like I could have taken it upon myself to do this, but like on Long Island, you still need a car. Like I don't have like access to the subway like that.
So Long Island Railroad or something.
Yeah. So I mean, once I was in high school, I was going out to the city and going to different shows and whatever. Yeah. But that was like much later from when I started.
Do you remember any of the venues?
I remember going to Blue Note, seeing Lupe. That was super cool.
He came to Pitt too. I got some great photos and video.
Yeah.
When he came to Pitt and with the kick push.
Yeah.
Kind of like the first tour.
Yeah.
I don't Amazing.
Know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Not sure, but maybe Manhattan and Queens. And Brooklyn. So, well, what I wanted to say is the segregation piece is really interesting. It's always shocking to me how people don't realize how segregated the North is, as opposed to like Florida and Charleston, where I've lived, where it's actually a much more integrated place, and people will, like my mom, will say things like, "How can you live in Charleston? What a racist place! What a fucked up place to live! What a fucked up place to raise kids!" And it's like, well, have you been to Boston? Have you ever been to Jamaica Plain?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Rothbury, Massachusetts? Have you ever been to Long Island? Have you ever been to and Pittsburgh? You know, some of the most segregated places I've ever lived have actually been in the north.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's inherently racist that it's segregated. It's just like, so I guess it comes from a historical background to it was racist, but like I think after certain generations, like New York for the most part is a very open spot, and we were so close in Long Island. We're so close to the city that is so not the opposite. It's just like how it is. I don't know, socioeconomic reasons.
Yeah,
it was it's like racism is the reason why it's like that.
Redlining.
Yeah, exactly. And
predatory loaning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, I mean, these days at least, it doesn't feel as much. When I was growing up, yeah, like I got it, you know, all sorts of like people are so ignorant, you know, especially coming from like an all white school or whatever. Like I've seen so much of that, and no one growing up thought I was white.
Whoa.
Everyone knew I wasn't white, and you know, I would get those like Indian jokes, the Hispanic joke. I think I look more Hispanic than anything.
Yeah.
But in Pittsburgh, everyone thinks I'm Italian. I'm like, I don't know
how.
I don't look Italian. Like, if you know Italian people, I don't look Italian.
You could be my cousin. You could be my Jewish cousin.
Yeah, I could pass for Jewish more than that. I guess I do. I'm racially ambiguous because I'm mixed. But yeah, I mean, I never got white growing up.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's just
It's funny. We have a running joke in like pharmacy school, or the Italian thing.
You love pizza?
I do. I mean, I'm like the biggest pizza head ever. Yeah.
Pittsburgh pizza culture is not that elevated, but it's not nearly as bad as the taco scene. I had to have a whole conversation about tacos. I had like a 3-page email about tacos with the guy who runs Baby Loves Tacos. Nicest guy you ever met. He explained completely why his tacos are fucked up
and why they suck.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, we had to do this because we weren't involved with the community. Like, we weren't engaging. People weren't buying our shit. And we wanted to keep people in work during the pandemic. I'm like, dude, that's wow. Thank you so much, man. Like, that's such a great explanation.
I respect that.
But I don't think that we should cheapen what we're making just to make money.
If you're a business, you kind of have to.
But that's why you're doing pharmacy.
Oh, you mean DJing? Sure. Yeah. But like, I wanted to play. I want to play. I could have started my own parties from the start and just play just what I want to do. I mean, I tried to do that. I made all these mixes. No one listened to them. All the Daps and Pound mixes have like 20 views or listens or whatever. It's like I was DJing on Twitch every month. No one tuning in. Like I was doing it just out of love of the game. But at the same time, I also love just DJing, like and playing. I'm totally fine just playing what people like and infusing my own thing in there and like how I do it in there. It's like just getting off these songs that make them happy, but like in a way that makes me happy. I don't think it cheapens the craft. It's part of the game.
I think you're right. Ultimately, it's always going to be a compromise. It's always going to be a negotiation between your ideals and doing what's right for the dance floor.
That's DJing in 2022, 23.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yep.
Anything you wanted to promote or tell people?
Just, at doctordap, come out to these parties. I'm trying to do something cool in Pittsburgh, the Daps and Pounds and Daps and Hugs. Like, I want all the DJs that I bring on. I want it to be like a community feel in terms of the DJing. We're doing back-to-back sets. So, like, I'm trying to do like 30-minute intervals, like it being like just like we're DJing for fun, having fun, and playing cool music that you're not going to hear regularly. That's all I got.
Dr. Dap on Dr. Gold.
Yep, doctor.
Are you the real doctor?
I don't know.
Doctor of pharmacy?
You're a doctor of pharmacy.
Yeah.
I'm not as doctor-y as you.
No,
you're
man.
The real doctor.
You're the real doctor. You're just doctor. You're more of a doctor than Dr. Dre.
That's true.
Although I think he did get a doctorate, like an honorary one.
He probably did get an honorary one, like way later. Like I said, 6 years for a stage name. All right, brother.
Best Daps. The best Daps in the world. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.